Does using food as medicine actually work? Or are there some pieces to the conversation that have been missing? That is what we are going to explore today. My name is Lila. I am a clinical herbalist and functional nutritionist trained to help people use food as medicine to transform and change their health. But there is one piece of the conversation that I see is absolutely missing from social media, from our health gurus, from all the people out there talking about health. So we're going to dive in and explore the facets of actually using food as medicine and looking for clinical results. So if you're here, you're probably interested in some way, shape, or form of using natural remedies to fix and change and transform your health, because yes, it can absolutely be done. I am trained as a functional nutritionist to use people and their physiology to help them with chronic issues. But the thing that is most missing from the conversation that nobody is acknowledging is that food as medicine only works in certain scenarios. One, if you're already healthy, let food be thy medicine. Absolutely. Use food to keep you healthy and to prevent future health issues. If you cleverly and intelligently utilize your food as medicine, then you are doing preventative work and care, and you can ensure longevity and a healthy future. I am such a big proponent of that. The conversation gets interesting when we talk about using food as medicine for somebody who is already sick, somebody whose health is already depleted, or they're dealing with some sort of chronic issue. And this is where it gets interesting. There's a lot of lore out there that you can use this food for that, or make this change and get this health outcome, that I think is a little overblown. And that's really what I want to touch on today. Food as medicine works. But if you are treating something clinically, if you are treating something chronic, something serious, something that's been there for a good amount of time, you, my friend, are going to need more than just nutrition therapy, unless, here's the caveat, you are willing to do something very, very, very extreme with your diet. I'm talking you're willing to go on a cleanse or a fast and only eat something like khichdi for a couple months, or you're gonna do a mono diet where you're just eating eggplant and nothing but eggplants for 6 months to reset your menstrual cycle. When you are already tipped into the disease process, and maybe this doesn't mean that you have a diagnosis or you are dealing with a named disease, but when your body is already so far out of balance, it's going to take more to correct the situation in a lot of instances than just food alone can do. But here's the good news. We have this entire sect of medicine we call herbs that is here to save the day. Herbal medicine is basically potent forms of food. Some forms of herbal medicine are really close to food or even food-like. Some forms of herbal medicine are more pharmaceutical or drug-like, where you are taking a tiny bit and the dose to get clinical results is close to the dose that is toxic or going to cause side effects. So herbs are this huge spectrum of medicine, from food to really serious potent stuff. And when we can utilize this herbal spectrum appropriately, we can help people get quicker results without having to do really, really extreme diets. Now, if anyone is willing to completely overhaul their diet and change everything upside down and commit to something really mono and really boring or really specific, then that's fabulous. That's a great way to do it. But most people aren't willing, ready, or able to do that. I'm not ready, willing, or able to do that because there are so many factors that go into eating that must be considered. Now, I could tell anybody to go eat nothing but khichdi, which is a single pot dish that's pre-digested, usually made of equal parts of a whole grain like rice or millet or quinoa, and a small lentil or bean, vegetables, and spices. That's super nourishing. It's going to be really easily digested. It's going to have everything you need that's building your body, that's detoxifying your body, and you can customize it to the specifics of the person or the situation. And if anyone was willing to do that for, let's say a month, 2 months, 3 months, they're gonna see dramatic, and I mean dramatic, changes in their health but most people aren't able to do that. And that's because there's so much else that goes into eating and our food choices that must be considered. There's socioeconomic reasons that we choose the food we do. There's food access. There's emotional reasons. There's social reasons. Maybe we're in a household where, we're cooking and involved with food for other people. And there's the fact that eating should be enjoyable and you should get something back from your food. So it's not super easy always to do something super extreme with your food. And that is the only way that you can always use food as medicine if it's your only vehicle for change. Now, when you combine food therapies with herbal medicine and supplementation, and then you throw in lifestyle factors and all of that on top of it, now you are balanced and you have more tools to meet a person exactly where they are. And I think this is super missing from a lot of the conversation, that using food as medicine works, yes, to prevent or to maintain health. But if somebody's already chronically sick or in ill health, and maybe this means something not obvious to you, like where you think you're healthy, but you have a migraine every day, well, then just using food alone isn't going to be enough to enact the change that you want in a reasonable amount of time. So we love using food as medicine. Food should be absolutely included and incorporated in any health protocol. Think about it. You're eating multiple times a day. It's cheap because you're already eating. So to just make some different food choices that really jumpstart and inform your health and the balance that you're trying to bring back to your body is a no-brainer. Like I said, it's something you're already doing, so it's not new or foreign. People already eat food. And while you might be bringing in some new and foreign foods and concepts, the act of eating is already something that most people are familiar with. So using food as medicine should absolutely be a cornerstone of any approach or protocol to natural healing. But it needs to be done in conjunction with herbal medicine and more targeted support, more potency to get somebody the results they need in a reasonable amount of time. I'm a big fan of helping people feel good as quickly as possible so that they have this spaciousness to do the deeper, harder, more foundational work to fix the root cause, to get past just the symptoms, and to build something sustainable. But in order to get there, they need to feel good enough to be able to get there. Because if you take somebody who's feeling really, really bad, chronically fatigued, no energy, constantly stressed, they're in pain, they're mentally disturbed, all of those things, and you ask them to do something really, really hard, they're not going to have the space to do it. So you really have to meet a person where they're at and understand the limitations of the modalities you're trying to use, be it time limitations, monetary limitations, mental limitations. Again, doing something prolonged like a Khichdi fast for 40 plus days takes a mental strength that not everyone has, especially somebody who's not feeling well. This is why a holistic approach, a personalized approach with multiple modalities and tools is so necessary to helping somebody find true health, to help them feel good now, to help them build that spaciousness so they have the room to do deeper work and to make it sustainable. That is what I am passionate about. And I want to bring more nuance and specificity to the conversations that are happening in the health space with the health gurus and the health influencers and everyone who talks about health because they think they can. So I'm Lila. This is Living Wellness Lounge. I work one-on-one with people to absolutely overcome and understand their chronic symptoms. And if you're interested in the work I do, you can find more information below. I also lovingly invite you to subscribe to this channel where I will have weekly videos put out for you on all topics relevant to finding health and happiness in this lifetime, because that is your birthright. And if you have any questions or there is something specific you want me to cover, I would love to. Let me know what topics or questions ring true to you, and we'll get them answered. Have a good one.